we have got AdmiralZhao on the Cumans, CuteBearCub on the Aztecs. I believe these are both the admin picks. So neither of these players dipping into their own picks yet on this closed maps. Humans, I understand. Human to get second TC up and go with the economy behind the walls. Aztecs, they're pretty good in terms of economy, but not as strong as some other economy says, especially because of the pick that he had. Didn't he have Khmer and Burgundians? I believe he did, so I would have expected one of those civs on this map. But yes, like I said, this is bracket E, should be about 1,100 ELO. That's what I'm expecting. It could be wrong. I think we can look that up a little bit later. But yeah, this is best of 5, quarterfinals, winner goes on to the semis. So there's a little bit at stake here for the players. It's not group stage where you can bomb out and say, oh well, didn't do enough to progress. There's actual stakes here. You can taste the semi-finals. So both of these players will want to have a good showing. So could get housed here if AdmiralZhao doesn't remember to build that house. We've got a scout that is just sitting here. We have a dead sheep decaying. So a little bit of a messy start here from AdmiralZhao, and 4 on wood already, which is fine if I'm being honest, but his economy setup hasn't been the greatest. He didn't have enough food to produce another villager, so he's gone on to loom already. So yeah, a bit of a messy start. Is attempting that deer push. We see deer pushes here for CuteBearCub as well, and is kind of keeping the sheep out of the equation, which, you know, that's a pretty advanced kind of move there. You want to keep your sheep for later. You want to kind of collect your fastest food sources, which is the hunt and the boar. So really liking that from CuteBearCub. Having said that, he does have a slightly higher idle TC time, but still well within the range of being okay. So also got another boar there. His scout is out on the move. Still pushing deer here for AdmiralZhao, so that's what we would expect with the score difference, I think. Let's talk about the map, because I've been really interested in this map and just how it plays out. So I've cast 2 sets of this tournament so far. This is the 3rd set. And actually, what are these house placements? They're a bit all over the shop. Might impact farming a bit later. But of course, you got the stone in the middle. You got so much gold in these little pockets. 28,000 gold. But currently what I'm seeing is the players opting not to really prioritize capturing these resources, because at the end of the day, you actually have quite a lot of gold inside your base. You got 7,000 gold inside your base. That can sustain you for quite a long time. You also have stone in your base for about 3 castles. Actually, yeah, it's about 3 castles, right? Just about. So you really can sustain yourself for a long time. So unless this game goes super late, I just don't expect these resources to play much of a factor. they're interesting that they're there, but yeah, one game I saw a castle drop on the front, game was over as soon as Castle Age hit. You know, and that can happen in arena style matches. And then the second game that I cast on this map, it did go longer, and the winner did get into the stone in the middle because he had a castle on the front as well. But that wasn't really because he was prioritizing stone. It kind of just happened, and the gold wasn't taken at all. So be interesting to see if this happens at a little bit of a lower skill level here. Whether it plays a factor or not, I'm not sure. But AdmiralZhao has got farms, and we also see farms here for CuteBearCub, who's going to come up into feudal first. Going to go for Market Blacksmith, it would seem. So it's a fast castle strategy. He has a really good resource base to get there as well. So managing that economy just slightly better here for CuteBearCub, but remember, humans, second TC available, and how do I feel about that TC? I'm not sure, because I've seen a lot of castles on the front of bases. Seen a lot of castles in front of bases, so it could be exposed to a castle drop, which would deny the TC and the gold. So I think this is a smart play to not go Marketplace Blacksmith. In addition to this, I think you need a bit of map control alongside this. But of course, you also need the food economy to maintain. And I feel like I've missed something here, actually. So the scout, the Eagle Scout, has gone down to AdmiralZhau's human scout. So a little bit of a setback there for CuteBearCub. There was a bit of chat as well. So a bit of chat between these players, which, you know, it was all very respectful as well. So I wasn't trash talk by any means. But CuteBearCub's going to be a bit of a scouting disadvantage now. Is going to get to castle very quickly. So this is a well-practiced build, which is good to see. And he's done it with only producing 5 farms. So really have to commend him there. TC is only just up for AdmiralZhao, because that TC does take a little extra time to produce in Feudal Age. So we'll just see if CuteBearCub will go for that second TC or prioritize it. It would seem not. Seems like he's going double monastery. He's going for a relic play. Outposts. I think this is smart because you don't know if the castle drops are coming. You want to sniff that out before it happens. I wouldn't be putting farms here. I'd be, if you're kind of expecting perhaps a castle drop, which in all fairness may not be coming based on what we're seeing from CuteBearCub, then your farming economy and your gold is exposed. But this is really, oh, don't know about 3 outposts. You might not need that one. And yeah, don't know about the placement of these outposts. That's a lot of outposts, and they do cost a little bit of stone. So 5 stone, I believe. He's got outposts absolutely everywhere, which is pretty funny, Could have been placed a little more efficiently, in my opinion. But here we go. Got monks getting the relics, we do have a scout here who must have been aware of this monk, bots them out. So that relic is really close, but no cigar. He'll get it eventually, no doubt. As spearmen are gonna now accompany those monks, but it's pretty standard stuff here from humans. Having the villager lead, that's such a good bonus, and it's gone unpunished. So, especially without the 2 TC Castle Age immediately from CuteBearCub. I'm gonna think 3 TCs now though, so it's gonna catch up eventually. Depending on what AdmiralZhao does, might also build another TC. More monks coming out. Have a monk here, come bringing back a relic. This villager is just building after building. And I would love to see this villager converted, if I'm being honest. As he runs over the foundations as well. Not interested. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 archery ranges. He is not going to be able to sustain this at all. But it's cavalry archer that we're going into. So he's not going to be able to sustain 5 archery ranges at this stage of the game. Especially with only 3 on gold. So this is a little bit of a waste. Really you only need 2. At a stretch 3 maybe. If you weren't going for full upgrades and stuff like that. This is interesting. So wants to reduce the mobility of the human player a little bit. But you also reduce your own mobility. I guess you can delete houses. No sweat. But we've got 2 relics for CuteBearCub. And this production for Cav Archer is not yet pumping along. And I'm just keeping an eye on the 3 TC boom. A lot of idle time. So these town centers, this one's 34%, this one's 34%, this one's 15%. So not quite keeping up here, or not quite taking advantage of the 3 TC boom. But has got Eagle Scouts on the floor. You know, Eagle Scouts also have quite a lot of pierce armor. So against Cav Archer, they're not terrible. They're obviously a little bit slower. But we like to see some squires on these things. Housed here by AdmiralZhao. But the economy is starting to pump now. Very inefficient wood line. So he's going to have to find somewhere else to go. I'm sure he is unaware that the villagers are outside the base. Chopping wood. And we have 13 Cav Archers down. I may consider, you know, I still think Eagle Warriors is fine. As I thought we were going to see another snipe, but we don't. But yeah, would like to see some skirmishes, which is exactly what's going to happen. These archery ranges could be denied though. But we have villagers come forward. Are we thinking... I mean, he doesn't have any stone whatsoever, so... This is very curious. Siege workshop, okay. Didn't need 9 villagers to build a siege workshop, but he might have other plans for these villages. And the defensive castle. I think that's wise. I think that is wise. But this is a lot of wasted time. So, okay, so they're going to go for the wood camp. Not sure here from CuteBearCub. A lot of units been tossed away. You need to kind of math these, of course. Which hasn't been done. So we need to see some kind of unit choice and a mathing of that unit. Zoe is going to find out that there's a castle there. As another Eagle Warrior goes down unnecessarily. Got 4 relics though, so that is to the advantage of CuteBearCub. And his gold is absolutely flying right now. He's got so much gold. He's got elite skirmisher on the way. I would start preemptively building some of these though. Because he is very low on military. I am concerned. Very concerned. Especially because we see... I kind of wonder what we're focusing on right now. As we have another relic come in. So he's definitely focusing on relics. Skirmishers pop out, and I'm not sure where they're going. Again, we need to mass these units. So it's hard to see, He's got a rally point somewhere that is either over here, and they're just being left for the slaughter. Oh, it pains me, Absolutely pains me, because he'd be pretty close to a mass now if these just weren't dying, running into the meat grinder. I know what's happened. This castle is blocking this gate. They're trying to walk around here into this gate and for them to be massed here. So he's got 19 here, but I think he's probably lost about 20. And hang on a second. We have a relic countdown. So I'm not sure about the map settings, but I'm unsure. Is this only conquest? I'm not sure. And this is what Al Mikolos is saying. Damn, relic victory. Yes, I was completely unaware that relic victory is available. Wait, so you're saying standard victory is correct. So is relic victory in standard victory? That is something I don't personally know. But yeah, this is a lot of pressure, and these cab archers are gonna walk all the way around. This castle is gonna go up, so might not be able to do anything on this side, and he might have to go all the way back around. But fortified walls are coming in, so he's obviously aware of the relic victory. And he's going to try and build walls. Okay, so it looks like these are correct to the rules, if I'm interpreting chat correctly. Cav archers realize that there's nothing to do on this side and that they should return. But he might get this relic victory. This is highly possible because we've got the correct defensive unit. We need to switch into something else in order to beat that unit. I mean, it is a lot of Cav Archer, for sure. And maybe these Rams are chunky enough to take the skirmisher hit and you can kind of just come through, I guess. But can't remember if we had Sanctity on these monks. That would obviously be a boon to have against these Rams. So I'm going to keep my eye out for that. And I believe we do because we see the little blue icon above the mangonels. So it might see some conversions on this, but these are going down actually, even from skirmishes. And so this is an interesting castle placement as well. Guys, I'm going to predict it. I'm predicting CuteBearCub gets the relic victory because I'm not seeing the unit combo that can beat this. The one way that he can beat this though is get your troops out, just shoot over the wall, take out the monasteries. And I think AdmiralZhao is getting a bit desperate here. One of those was, yeah, that's right, Growl. Don't need units, just need the trebs. And I think he's going to get the castle for sure. If I was CuteBearCub, I would be repairing, which he is. But maybe with not enough. Again, this is desperate stuff from AdmiralZhao. Like, he's really aware of this relic victory, maybe too aware. Because he's just throwing his mangonels away. He's going heavy into siege, and he's got the capped ram. That's going to be good to have, but this trap is in the way of the castle. This castle's been repaired. We've got nothing on stone, though, from CuteBearCub. Trap's going to be repaired. And we have Eagle Warrior, so that is good for sniping trebs. This capped ram, though, needs stuff to deal with that. Looking like the Eagle Warriors are going down really fast. And I think this castle's going to go down to capped ram. Because capped ram is so strong. So strong, especially if there's no melee units to back that up. Might have liked to have seen Jaguar Warrior pop out of that castle a bit. And yes, we are seeing the Treb actually go for the monastery, so whew, good stuff. And actually we see the castle go down to a ram that must have been converted. Remember that ram got converted. We might see some ram on ram action. The exact same castle is going to be built. This ram, hero of the day, but the timer is going to be removed, and if these are taken into the monastery, reset. Goodness, this game has got this is a great start to the set. This is a great start to the set. Same castle going to go up. Villages in the mix. We do see quite a substantial villager lead now. Behind all this, we've got economy expanding as well. So good job from AdmiralZhao to keep attention to that. And we see the GG. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's definitely the most exciting game I've seen on this map so far. That was a fantastic game. And I can positively say that the stone in the middle was actually used, because we have 4 castles. We've got plenty of TCs. How many TCs have we got? 4, 3 up and 1 being constructed. So stone was used, and relics also playing a factor. Sorry for the bots, guys. I have a very limited schedule. I know how to get rid of them. I just haven't had the time to actually implement that solve. I'd rather just use my time to be casting to you guys, but I will solve the bot issue eventually, so please bear with me there. Fantastic game. Fantastic game. That was so good. So we'll put AdmiralZhao up 1. And actually, yeah, let's have a look at the stats. I think we know how the game went, and not necessarily need the stats to tell us what our eyes have already told us. But of course, humans, you have the economy bonus at the start, and then what I wasn't paying attention to was the economy that Zhao was building behind the push he was taking. But yeah, look at that drop in military from Zhao as he kind of panicked. I mean, maybe it was entirely justifiable panic because he got the job done. So that paid off in the end. But yeah, that's where the panic kind of set in. APM, love to see APM. These are my guys. This is exactly where I sit. So this is where I belong, is among these players. So all right, game 2, CuteBearCub and AdmiralZhao. We are on Mangrove Heaven, I believe the map is called, with Vikings from CuteBearCub. So might be thinking of Longboat. I'm really interested to see how this map plays out. I always assume a lot of demo ships on maps like this, but maybe we'll see Longship in the late game. Not sure. And AdmiralZhao Persian. So Persians faster producing docks might be the thought process here to get the eco lead, which I like. Like I've said, with all of the maps on Draft Showdown, there is so much resources on the maps. So we have fish. How much gold do we have here in the back? About 5,000. There's gold on this water. A lot of gold, a lot of stone, and then not to mention the berry bushes. You got about 10,000 food on berry bushes. I believe one of the players banned Portuguese, probably because of this map. You could probably make a similar case to Franks, although they're not. I don't really see Franks all that much anymore. For whatever reason, I'm not sure. But yeah, Portuguese is a key ban on this map. El Mikolos says galleys. Galleys range every single tree line. That's a great point, actually. So water does seem to be very important. So if you get the galley advantage, you can get the early GG. Great point, great point. I know one of the players had chosen Saracens as well. That would have also been a great pick. And Armenian, so there was definitely choices here. But yeah, I'm just thinking with this map, and so usually I practice a lot of these maps before I start casting them, just so that I've got a good idea of how players might approach the maps. I would have thought, and I've seen this map maybe, actually I think I've only seen it once, and the middle food wasn't utilized at all. If you're really going to take advantage of this map, you delay all farms and you take advantage of the food in the middle. That would work if you're Portuguese, of course, and if you're Franks, the civs with berry bonuses. But of course, berries are a slow form of food collection. But it's a strategy that I had in mind and maybe could work. Persians, I just expect to go heavy into docks and fishing ships. Well, at least in the early game, because of how fast their docks and TCs produce. And Vikings also no slouch on the economy with their wheelbarrow and handcart coming in for free. So I think it should be an even matchup. Let's have a little look at the scouting. Yeah, that's right. Vikings are an underrated civ, and they're coming in more and more. I'd love to see the win rate actually for Vikings, because on Arabia, at least, although they're not an Arabia civ because of how good they are in water, it's not the first thing that comes into mind with Vikings, but men-at-arms, rushes, and just infantry in general, good with Vikings. Fishing ships looking for more. So even though there is a lot of fish on this map, they are spread out. So the fishing ships aren't going to be as efficient on a map like Four Lakes or Winter Lakes that we've got on in this map pool. And they're also going to be harassed a lot by things like scouts being traversable. But we should see a similar feudal time for both. But seeing more villages come in before that's going to happen. Yeah, on AoE stats, thank you very much. Viking is second in win rate behind Romans. Holy, I did not expect them to be that good. And you brought up a really good point. That's the first wood camp. So we're chopping stragglers up into that point. And we haven't found our water buffalo. So it should obviously be, in an ideal world with enough practice, you would know how much water buffalo you get on the map, so you should be aware that they're back there. And this is going to be a really inefficient wood line as well. And some weird house choices too. All that wood and no gold. Yeah, you're ahead of me. This is something that's really interesting. So he's not going to have the economy set up to dominate with galleys as I come over here to CuteBearCub, who I have been neglecting a little bit, has the gold, the wood, the double wood camp for more efficient wood line, and he's producing galleys out of 2 docks. So CuteBearCub has got the memo on how to play the map, I believe, whereas maybe AdmiralZhao is a little bit behind on that, but he does have some on gold now. And actually AdmiralZhao only just clicking up to feudal now, so hasn't been able to produce galleys anyway, because he just wasn't there, and he's going to go with a second dock. So he also seems to be somewhat aware that water is going to be critical. And I'm loving to see the continuous galley production. But wow, there's a lot happening on this map all at once, which is a sign of a good map. These buffalo were found actually by a CuteBearCub and he's taken them away. But Zoe is in the middle taking deer. Scouts on fishing ships, very, very annoying. But we do have galleys out, so I reckon he's going to be able to take that for sure. And it's going to have to run away or not because we have galleys that are going to take out that galley. Scout does go down though. But Scout for AdmiralZhao is also going to go down. And we're going to see fishing ships for Zoe also go down. So the villager or eco lead that Zoe had is going to start disintegrating. Yeah, the mining camp. I did notice that I was a bit far away from the gold itself. But I was trying to be diplomatic. I never like to go too hard on these guys, purely because it would be very hypocritical of me in terms of my own gameplay, but not an ideal mining camp for sure. Yeah, you make a good point. It's even at our elos, we would endeavor not to have that mining camp like that. But this is tournament settings. This is when the heart starts racing. You start making mistakes that you don't make typically on the ladder. I find, at least anyway, I get a bit of the tournament nerves and usually play a little bit below where I usually play rather than step up to the challenge. But CuteBearCub is actually only getting fletching now on these galleys, and AdmiralZhao has fletching already. And the advantage that I thought CuteBearCub would have on water has seemingly evened out, but basically to even. And we're seeing continuous production on galleys here, but this wood line is still a dog's breakfast. Look at this wood. You'd have more wood over here. You've got one less place to defend, I guess, but that is hard to see. That is hard to forgive, I might say. No, I kid, of course. And actually, we've got 2 wood camps on that very inefficient wood line. So that is pretty funny. And actually, this is something I hadn't really considered either. You can just fish this with villagers. You want to get fishing ships, of course, because then you get more eco out on the floor. But this is obviously a very efficient food collection strategy. So that's a really good play from Zoe there. Let's have a look on the advantage. So the advantage here is for Zoe in terms of numbers and hit points. Just having a look at the res as well. Looks like CuteBearCub is in a pretty good spot to potentially go up to castle soon, but don't want to sacrifice too much on your production because it could come back to bite you on your economy. So that's the hard part about balancing this out a bit. Yeah, I've stacked 8 and actually, yeah, that's a great point actually. Good eyes. Has stacked a lot of galleys in queue. If you're going to stack that much, you might even consider building another dock. But, you know, Castle Age is a critical timing point you need because you need to get to War Galley The war galley timing is critical for any kind of swing. And we're back up to even actually with the numbers and hit points. You know, maybe even a bit of an advantage for CuteBearCub. But yeah, in a way, this might actually be a little bit of a trap going for middle because it is so exposed to water. But gonna see a dock. This is for the fish, or is it a galley play? But this is gonna be tough, and this should have been tracked by CuteBearCub. He shouldn't. Although I do like that he did have quite a lot of weak ships, so repairing them up, don't hate it. But it did leave them exposed to that eventuality. And as we got the castle age here for Zoe, see Bodkin immediately. And I'm sure we will see War Galley is in the queue. So CuteBearCub should be aware that the faster castle time means that those upgrades are going to come in quickly. And that, you know, you might take advantage of that while you are lagging in feudal. But, you know, it is coming in for CuteBearCub now as well. And yes, taking advantage of that timing very well is AdmiralZhao. And that actually got a few coming up in the rear. So that was really well played by Zoe. But Bodkin and War Galley for both. We do have Careening for Zoe, which I believe gives you an extra pierce armor. But we, you know, this is by the production buildings of CuteBearCub. So we do see him take the advantage there. So lots of war galleys coming up. And critically, we do see a town centre come up for CuteBearCub, whereas we don't see the second TC, but we do see a castle actually. And we did actually see War Galley in the middle, which is hilarious. But I've never seen 38 villagers put up a castle at once. That is incredible. This villager micro is killing me, yeah. Yeah. Yep, it's killing me a little bit as well. Enough villagers to build a wonder. That's for sure. And I will say, the Persian castle, the default castle that they had initially, and I got to stop in mid-thought to appreciate the efficiency of these villages, or the lack thereof. That is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. But castle does go up, and I was going to say this is my favorite, or one of my favorite castles. I hated the default castle that was given to Persians and Saracens, and it's pretty ugly, the default castle. I don't know who still has that castle, but they're the true losers of the patch, in my opinion. Love that castle. But in terms of the game, CuteBearCub has taken a decisive lead in terms of military. And you would think that there would be wood lines for this group of ships to attack, but no, not at all. Well, I guess there's some here, but there is a TC there. I would love to see some heated shot on this map, which you never see. PS armor +1. Yes, careening. The villager micros. Yeah, Saracens, I think. Saracens kept that castle. Oh, look, I'm not a Saracens fan myself, but I do hate that for them because I think Saracens, and this is a controversial opinion, are one of the most boring civs in the game. They're just so vanilla. The eco advantage is like, I know it's strong, like, don't get me wrong, I know it's strong. But from a gameplay perspective, I think it's just so uninteresting and meh. Um, and they've retained uh, the worst castle in the game. Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, the galley advantage is absolutely massive now. 31-1, as chat has um, pointed out. I think you kind of just need to get to Imperial, take the castle down, and you've won the game. So that's what I would be focusing on as CuteBearCub. You know that you've got the ship lead, or you should know, at least. But we do have the 3 TC boom, so staying a little bit longer in Castle Edge is also fine. Al Mikhailov says Vil lead, military lead, res collected lead. It's time for a big throw. It's not out of the question. Not out of the question at all. But if I'm being honest, and I think AdmiralZhao handedly deserved the win in the last game. I do not believe he deserves to win in this game, purely on the micro alone. So I am kind of rooting for CuteBearCub here because he has played this exceptionally well as well. So not just the tear out your eyes, surround of villages on castles and woodland and fish, but also because CuteBearCub has played this to perfection. But having said that, it's actually Imperial coming up for AdmiralZhao first. Okay. Villagers coming round as well, so it's castle v castle. So this is actually very lucky, in a sense, for CuteBearCub to preempt this. And there's no way that AdmiralZhao will get this castle up first. He realizes it, abandons ship, looks for another place to put a castle. And he'll go safe. Which I think is fair enough. But 3,000 gold in the bank for CuteBearCub, so he could have gone to Imperial ages ago, really, and he'll go up now. So he will be at a treb disadvantage. I might start actually preparing some demo ships to kind of snipe any other castle rushes or trebs, or, you know, obviously you can still do that with this enormous mass of war galleys. But I guess I'm just partial to a demo ship. I think they're one of the best units in the game. Alright, we've got Persian War Elephant coming in. Hype. Yeah. The ships are rolling around. They're good for map control, certainly. But kind of not there anymore. Second castle goes up. I love this. I love the desire to have a second ship. Do you dive this? You know, you got to take advantage of your ships as you can. Petards, okay, petards. Petards can obviously take out Trebs. I'm assuming that's what we're thinking. Could be wrong. This needs to be repaired though. It certainly needs to be repaired. This will be good to, further plunge the economy of AdmiralZhao down. But that castle's down. I would have liked to see some villagers kind of hold on to that castle, maybe even get a trib out of that. But petards, where is this petard off to? Not sure. Nearly got that boat. Again, need some repairs on these castles. So throw is definitely on the cards. But we're finally going to see the ships kind of relocate and start to put pressure on these trebs. I mean, they do have to target the trebs and not the villagers. This could be the wrong decision, but I would just take the trebs out at all costs. So trying to repair the trebs. This castle is going to go down though. So we might need to see a siege workshop and bombard cannon. Chemistry is coming in. A lot of villages have gone down though. So this push from Zhao could stall out, especially because when you look at his res, it is extremely low. So he's really invested everything he has into it up until this point. And we now have a castle. And we do actually have a trib on this castle. So he did manage to get one out. So good job. But I wouldn't have, at this point, left the ships under the castle because they weren't achieving much at that point. Cannon galleon. Okay, so I was saying bombard cannon, but obviously cannon galleon is the much better choice. Does go down to the castle, unfortunately. A couple more shots and we've got villagers running to take that. Oh, the castle. So close, so close, so close. So this could have been played a little better, and we don't see any additional tribs come out from this castle. So this castle's going to survive for a bit longer. Do remember that there is an eco advantage for CuteBearCub. Because there's basically no economy at home at this point. And this economy is very exposed, so villagers are coming in here to destroy the trap. I didn't say that men-at-arms was coming out, but here it is. And these units are going to get shredded by this Persian war elephant. So yeah, the throws are... Wow. The throws are definitely possible. Especially now because we have another trib on this castle. Yeah, I mean, great point, Grau. You do have 3,000 food in the bank that could be sold for whatever you may need, especially because you have gold issues. Just looking at the... Doesn't know gold is behind here, unfortunately. But there's basically gold everywhere on the map. Cannon galleons, though, obviously great for taking out trebs. Oh, please do not lose this cannon galleon. It's hard to see, hard to watch, Because, again, CuteBearCub has played this perfectly. He just can't close. My dream came true. We've got demo ships. Please take up this trib with the cannon galleon though. Oh, okay. Alright. Why at this point would you call GG? I guess you have no confidence in your economy, but if I'm being honest, AdmiralZhao has gold here, stone here. If I just go back to see what his economy makeup was like, he had nothing on food. So, you know, building back your villages with no food is going to be an issue, obviously. Idle TC time. Yeah, it is a shambles. It is a shambles. I just don't know if he was dead yet, you know? I guess the cannon galleons... The cannon galleons are a game changer because they're so good at taking out trebs. So yeah, I can see it, but I guess he ran out of options. But if you've got wood and gold, your Persians, could you go trash bow? Trash bow, anyone? Look for whatever the next option is. I would have just, yeah, looked for whatever the next option was and kept going. But yeah, it would have been tough. It would have been tough with no farms whatsoever. But again, you do have food in the middle that you can just bypass farms. Inefficient food, nonetheless. Yeah, it was winnable still. It was, but I mean, CuteBearCub did deserve to win though, so it probably would have got it regardless. And Grau has just pointed out, Bulgarian was not an admin pick. My mind just went to there because how could it possibly not be an admin pick? He's picked this specifically and it's decided, you know what, Bulgarians is going to be on shoals. And he picked this map as well. So he does have a strategy. So let's try to figure this out. So Crepos, I mean, Crepos can protect the sides quite well. That's not that outrageous to think of how that might be good in this map. All right, I think that's fine. I was thinking, and this is where my crazy brain went. You get to castle, you get rid of the relic. Is this enough space for a Crepos? You kind of dominate water because you've got a Crepos right in the middle of the water. Maybe. Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. That would be absolutely crazy, but I'm just trying to think outside the box. But yeah, obviously going to see a much more standard game here for CuteBearCub. As we've got elephants, we've got deer being collected. Might see some market play, or should expect to see some market play. I was just saying how boring Saracens are and how they're one of my least favorite civs. But if you play Saracens, you're going to need to take advantage of the market. Their galleys are amazing, of course, and the whole reason why you play this on this map. And yeah, there's just something about AdmiralZhau's economy makeup that just makes you wince a little bit. Straggler trees being taken. Again, we're seeing no lumber camp. I apologize. We do see a lumber camp. And that lumber camp couldn't be further away on the TC in the most awkward spot. Why not put it in this little nook? perfect little nooks here for lumber camps. Al Nicholas says, you actually quite like it. Well, you know, it does provide a wall, which is true. The only flaw in that logic is you're chopping through that wall. So that wall is going to disintegrate very quickly. um, but I must say, AdmiralZhao, highly entertaining player to cast. Do you know what? I apologize, CuteBearCub, because you are playing this to perfection. You've got gold, you've got wood, you're coming into feudal. You're probably going to put a double dock up. You're playing it just the way you're supposed to play this map. But when I see 12 villagers build a lumber camp, and a lumber camp built here, and many villages surrounding berries, and 4 deer dead at the same time, it's easy to get distracted and have your attention focus there. So going barracks for CuteBearCub. Obviously decides to do the barracks and not a second dock, which I would have preferred the second dock. Yeah, this always annoys me when it happens to me. Oh, Scout nearly came back to try and go for a second villager kill, but you know, if you got one villager building stuff, you are open for it to get sniped by the Scout. Interesting walls we have here. I do usually hate it when walls are so close to the TC. I probably would have walled here. I might even walled here, here, and here, so that you got this gold more readily accessible, I would say. Again, villagers trying to get on berries, and a lot of unbalanced. So we've got 3 cutters on this wood line, 10 on this line. Interesting enough, we only see a single dock from both players. And actually only 1 galley. The galleys have not been the focus on this map, and even though AdmiralZhao sees that he's produced a galley, it's going further and further into fishing ships, which is a mistake. Let's be clear. And another villager pickoff. So this scout has 2 kills. Oh, keep attacking. The only way that you're going to survive is to attack. He's trying to get it to a spare though. But this scout has got 3 kills. And I remember, okay, so I remember when I was getting into Age of Empires during COVID. That's when I fell in love with the game all over again, is during COVID. It's this kind of stuff that would drive me absolutely mad, because you know that the opponent shouldn't be allowed to kill villagers with a single scout, and yet you're not skilled enough, or you don't have you're having a bad day or bad number of games or something, and that kind of happens to you. You look away and the scout's back, and you're like, oh, so annoying. So sympathize here with CuteBearCub on stuff like that. But 3 villagers, that's a lot of villagers to lose to a single scout. And yeah, I've never seen this map play out quite this way, where we only have 1 galley from both players. Like, no galleys from one player, and one galley from another player. And a little bit of revenge here, which I love to see. I love to see some revenge. He's going to go down and stop any more of this building on the side. We have building on the other side from AdmiralZhao as well. So he likes to send his villagers out on little expeditions. And sorry, this is what I should have been paying attention to, is the men-at-arms brush from this barrack. So we're going to produce more. Got to call the tower. Alright. That's fine. I like it. This is a really good wood line. Very good protective wood line. But yeah, probably didn't need the tower. Because he has the archery range, right? So you could just produce a couple archers and you're really good to go to protect against men-at-arms. They do have the same movement speed now. So men-at-arms can escape. But just think, if one more galley was produced, you could sit one galley here, because he's obviously got this on stand ground, I think. Could have one galley here and one galley here. And then the fishing ships are all for naught. But again, CuteBearCub, even though he's down in villages or eco, he has got the castle quicker. There's a lot of wasted resources on the side of Zhao with 817 gold just sitting in the bank. And now the ridiculousness of this wood camp comes into play as this wood camp on the right hand side is, or all the wood is now gone. But yeah, it's sitting on a lot of gold. It's sitting on more gold. Did I see that correct? Did he just sell more food to get more gold? Alright. More men at arms. Okay, so 3 men at arms still. Producing 2 more. It deletes the house to repair the gate. Fair. These villagers are going to come on out. Like I said, if the wall was not built so close to the base and was built here and here, you wouldn't have this problem of having this gold so exposed. And he did lose 3 villagers, I believe, to that attack. To long swordsmen. So we're seeing the infantry play a part here. I mean, you're going to have to go infantry if you're Bulgarians. There's no doubt about it. So this should have been expected, and I would have liked to have seen archers, but he didn't go archers because he wants to go cav archer. But this is going to have to be dealt with. But there is... Oh no. There's a long swordsman with chainmail armor. He's just going to slice through these villages, and they're going to take a long time to kill him. If that cav archer wasn't there, could have been so much worse. But look at the eco kills. 14 eco kills. It's just being relentless by Zhao. Absolutely relentless. The Scorpion coming into the mix now as well. And yes, the Krepos. Krepos coming up. I think Zoe's got this. I think he's got this. I'm just not seeing the appropriate response. I don't think he's going to be able to mass enough cav archers to deal with this, especially with scorpions coming in, because scorpions are a great response to cav archer. So well done by Zoe here. And this has gone completely unpunished. There's nothing happening on water. Which is it's a huge mistake on the side of CuteBearCub, because you're Saracens. That's your whole benefit. That's your thing. Knights are taken out. Open the gates. He's going to get in pretty quick. Panic castle. As he sees the Krepos. And this Krepos is going up very slowly. So maybe this villager can kind of get to this corner and still build it, perhaps. But this is a huge disruption. We'll see if this Krepos goes up, because it's not being focused. Got swordsman on the other side as well. This Krepos is going to go up. It would seem. Or? Knife thrower? Knife? Actually, the Krepos doesn't go up. Villager is killed. So I might need to see some villagers come over, and guys, I have never seen the map play out this way. And maybe that's just a result of Bulgarians being picked here. There's nothing on water. Nothing is happening on water, guys. Nothing. Nothing is happening on the side. No TCs. No castles. Both players, well, Zoe, deciding to, I don't need water. I don't need gold. How about I just come right to the base? Never seen it play out this way. Destroy the Krepos? Yeah, probably. I guess you don't recoup that much stone from it, because it's basically built. But yeah. There it goes. There, it's destroyed. Whether that was actually destroyed or it was deleted, I think it was deleted. Yeah, exactly. AdmiralZhao would have deleted it as soon as he saw that castle. 100% agree. But yes, very well done here. Finally, going out to the outside. So I'm liking CuteBearCub's chances more and more, but he is still playing from behind. Still has the potential to build some ships to contest. I guess it's not as important at this stage of the game. But, you know, that's 6 economy that you can get rid of. Castle coming up first, and then it will be a TC, I assume. This push has seemed to stalled out by a single mangonel. Mangonel does counter both of those units, so good choice there, and I love to see mangonels being produced at this skill level. I remember I used to forget about mangonels constantly, and then I go, I should have done mangonels, but Growl brings up a very good point. Look at the res difference. Talking about 8k res difference, and you know, because all the action has been in CuteBearCub's base, I've completely neglected the fact that The economy is flying back here. It's got 48 farms. 48 farms. Who needs to focus on water when you can build 48 farms? So this is going to be hard to come back from. And, you know, it is reflected in the score as well. But gold, my instinct is just to say gold is a very key priority on this map, which has been completely overlooked by AdmiralZhao. He's only got 4 on gold. Just trying to find those 4. Because where is his gold? I see no gold. There's the gold. So he's got about 1,500 gold. I mean, that's not nothing. As he builds another TC not on gold. And we actually see CuteBearCub got to Imperial. So, I don't know. I still kind of give him a chance in this game. And actually that galley seems to have killed a few of those fishing ships as well. I stand corrected. So there must have been some market use by Zhao to get up to Imperial himself. But this is kind of, for a game that had so much action early, it kind of put the brakes on from both players, really. Ram comes out, gonna recapture this side of the map. The Bulgarian's going to archery range. Or more archery ranges, sorry. You do forget that Bulgarians have very good cav archers. But obviously terrible archers. They only get archer. They don't even get crossbow. But the cav archers, pretty decent. Especially because they do get bracer. They don't get the last armor. But that's fine. The cav archer is very underrated for the Bulgarians. That's been taken out. Imperial coming through. Now, all depends on what CuteBearCub wants to do with this Imperial and what AdmiralZhao wants to do with his Imperial, which is through now. Krepost up on the side. So now all attention goes to this side. I would like to see somebody try to get that side as well, because it's just so open. There is one Mameluke, but that could obviously be dealt with. And we've got Bracer, which great to get, obviously. But we also have crop rotation for the 47 farms, although there's only 48 on food currently. And these skirmishes, again, didn't we see this? Yeah, we saw this with CuteBearCub in game 1. Rally point being a bit of an issue, and just massing units up. Needs to set the rally point back here under castle protection. Once he got enough, although he's got the rally point here, that seems to be a good place for it. Then go forward. But AdmiralZhao going for the Cat Ram again, the Siege Ram, which I love. Gotta get rid of these trebs. I would like to see Conics, yeah. So out come the Conics that are going to take out the Imperial skirmishers. And even though skirmishers are there, which great against these cav archers, Conics are going to do brilliantly. And they're also going to snipe trebs. Villagers also going down for CuteBearCub. So the control of this gold is falling away for CuteBearCub. He does have a lot of gold in the bank, but decides, you know what? I don't have it. GG's out. Which, you know, especially if you look at the score, I can understand that. But just remember that this side has not been taken at all. You can swing some of your villagers around that side. Use what you have in the bank. You've got 1,700 gold in the bank. So you can definitely stabilize the situation. Go over here. Retake some control of gold. Come back to this. So again, a little bit of an early GG, and I think we've seen early GGs from both sides at this point. So, and that's fine. That's fine. And again, AdmiralZhao is probably going to win this game regardless. But I would have liked to see just a little bit more fight there from CuteBearCub. But yeah, look at that economy. The farms were ridiculous. And the Cav Archer and then the Conic. I think the Conics were the nail in the coffin. So well played. 2-1 for AdmiralZhao. So all right, what is this? Andalusia or something like that. And we've got Burgundians for CuteBearCub. Remember, it is the regicide. Regicide, right? King dies. Game is over. Burgundians, obviously a fantastic arena style civ. And then for the Mongols, for AdmiralZhao, we have the Mongols. And he's put his king straight into the castle. It's not going to risk any kind of scouting. Hello, villager dead. Saw that out of the corner of my eye. A very unfortunate start, and we've seen this a lot from AdmiralZhao. The economy and the management of villages has just not quite been on point. Especially because these villagers also have food in their hands, and they're going to build a lumber camp and then immediately lose that food as they switch over to lumber. I believe that's still how it works. There has been many iterations, patches, and so on, but I believe that's still how it works. Okay. So that has been changed. I did have a little voice in the back of my mind saying, has that changed? And evidently, El Mikolos confirms that. Once you build the production building, if you got food in your hands, it will drop it off. So that's actually a pretty good change. Good quality of life change. But yes, so also should mention that we've got the trade workshops dotted around the map. They bring in food, I believe. If I just look at the food count, yep, 1 food went there. So these bring in food. I think it indicated by the berries outside of each one. I think that's supposed to indicate food. Now, we do have the wonder in the middle. I thought this wonder might change But it seems to always be the Spanish wonder. I believe that's the Spanish wonder, which I'm fine with. Of course it's the Spanish wonder, because Andalusia, which I believe this map is called, Andalusia is a region in Spain. So that makes sense. Barrack. But even before a mill, we've got a barracks. Did they start? Sorry, they started with a barracks. My apologies. But that's a lot of idle time for those villages. Trade posts bring in 20 food per minute. So still have 2 unclaimed, although this will be claimed fairly soon. Maybe? Yes. It's very important to get these trade workshops, because that's the difference between getting up to feudal or castle first. And to get that timing is critical. It just puts you at such an advantage. And then the wonder in the middle. Sorry, I should say. So, from what I thought it might be a wonder victory type match, but no, this is just a monument. Yeah, I thought it was King of the Hill. Sorry, King of the Hill, where you capture the wonder, the countdown begins, and if you hold on to it long enough, you win. But that's not the case. It's just a monument game. You get the gold if you capture the monument, and of course it's enclosed by walls, and there are relics inside. So there is pretty good incentives to get that monument. Actually, so Growl says the wonder brings in quite a bit more, plus other resources. The wonder is 100 food, 50 gold, and 25 wood. Good to know. I thought it was just gold, but it is a combination of resources. Yeah, cool. So we're seeing a 3-to-1 trade workshop advantage to CuteBearCub. Who I should say is on the precipice of losing the set, because it's best of 5, so whoever gets to 3 wins. So AdmiralZhao can win the set with a win here on this map. But yeah, Mongrel, the interesting choice. So these, I don't see these as, and this is going to come across too mean, but these aren't the most well thought out Civ picks. They're obviously picks that he feels very comfortable with. As I just noticed, there are sheep behind that wall, which he hasn't captured. But that is difficult to see, so I don't blame him. But yeah, not the most well thought out picks, and I'm looking for deer, not seeing much. That's a map with deer would obviously lean in. Okay, AdmiralZhao says, fear the hordes of Genghis Khan. So he's having fun, guys. And I love to see that. I absolutely love to see that. This is a tournament, you want to win, you want to be competitive, you want to take it seriously. But at the same time, what are we here for? We are here for fun. So I love that by AdmiralZhao. He's got the right attitude. He has the right attitude. And I love that for him. But yes, was going to say before getting distracted numerous times. TC built down by the trade workshop. I haven't seen that strategy yet. Is a way to kind of secure trade posts. So I don't hate that strategy. You know, the standard strategy would be probably put it on another gold as your second TC, and then branch out to a golden wood here. But I guess you've got golden wood here, so I think that's a pretty good idea, pretty good strategy. CuteBearCub is in castle already. AdmiralZhao just clicking up now. But he's on farms, which is good to see, but we actually only see farms coming now for CuteBearCub, and yeah, look at the wonder. This is the thing with these maps. There is so much going on with these maps that I'm constantly missing stuff. So I very much appreciate chat helping me along in this journey. Even though I'm supposed to be the caster. I'm a very noob caster. I'm here for fun. I'm no T90, I'm no Dave, I'm no addictive me, who's obviously casting this tournament as well. Very serious casters and very well practiced. That is not me. How this stone wall was destroyed, I'm not entirely sure. Was it this villager just coming here to attack the wall and he's been here for the first 15 minutes of this game? Maybe. Because I missed it. I don't know. Oh, petard. Of course. That makes so much sense. So, of course it was a petard. Starting with the castle. That makes a lot more sense. And it's a good strategy as well. So CuteBearCub has thought about this map and has practiced on this map, which you love to see. So he absolutely has everything on his side right now. The trade workshops, the wonder, and it's just not does not seem to be a concern for AdmiralZhao at this point. And actually, I did question the Mongol pick to begin with by AdmiralZhao, but obviously, Mangadai is the strongest unit in the game. You don't need to collect the stone to build the castle to get into Mangadai. You already have the castle. You can just start pumping them out. So, I actually like the pick from Zhao now. I call him Zhao. He might be Zhao. My apologies. I've called him Zhao up to this point. I'm going to continue doing it. So my apologies if I've got that wrong, which I know I have. But the point stands. You got the castle. Get Mangadai out as soon as possible. I actually like the strategy now from him. And I appreciate it because it's like slightly out of the box kind of strategies. You know, Burgundians is more obvious to me because of the arena component. But yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. Siege Workshop coming up. So he wants to push this town center with this kind of forward base. Mangadai running through, not sure what this is about, is not entirely sure what's happening there, but blue almost preempting some kind of action happening here is going to build a castle, which I think that's a good strategy. I guess this little endeavor is to maintain control of this trade post. There are about 3 other trade posts that you can do that on. Castle completely neutralizes any kind of forward momentum that can take place here. And a TC is going to be placed over here. So yeah, just looking at the resources actually. There is, am I wrong? There's no gold. Sorry, there's some gold here. So some gold on the very outside. of the barren, rocky middle. But that's about it. Which means it just reinforces that the relics in the middle and the wonder in the middle are important. I think this might be my favorite map of the tournament. It's a very interesting map. And I've never seen it before. Maybe I just a bit out of the loop, and it is a map used in other tournaments, but I've never seen it before. And it does seem relatively thought out. I do think some of the other maps are a bit rich in the amount of resources that players have available to them. Because if the map is saturated with resources, you don't have to make any of those really hard choices. Whereas what I love about this map is you have to make hard choices. Because there's only 3 gold here, 3 gold here, 3 gold here, and 3 gold here. That means you have to get the wonder. You have to get the relics. Extra food is interesting in the sense that it allows you to get to quicker feudal and castle age times. So there's that component. The rocks in the middle mean that there are interesting choke points around the map. And then it's also arena style, it's also regicide style. So there's a lot going on, but I think it all kind of combines and makes sense, which I love. That's so cool. I think this is a really cool map. So well done to the tournament, planners. And we have relic countdown again. So as we discussed in game 1, I believe relic countdown is allowed. So it's not like we've just got the wrong settings on. It is permissible in this tournament. And we have 5 relics collected on the side of CuteBearCub. And he went for the strategy in game 1. And here comes the defense. Walls. Mangadai's worst enemy is stone walls. Stops all mobility. They obviously can't break through. You can obviously pair Mangadai with siege rams really well. But this is gonna take some time to break through. Zoe is also not in Imperial, so he'll have to get to Imperial, then get his trebs up. He'll have to get through 2 castles. We have 16 Coustier. That's going to be hard to get through. Going to need to wall this off as well. That's a good wall off. Can still come through here, but that's going to be dealt with. We're on gold at the back, also on stone. I'm loving the position from CuteBearCub. This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. I would even try to wall off here and here. I mean, walling off there is really easy. So maybe put a gate and make more and more walls. I think CuteBearCub wants a funnel rather than a wall. Force them under the castle. Yeah. That's kind of like one of those scenarios, you know, when I was a kid, when I was like 10 years old, when the game first came out. That makes me 35 if you guys are counting at home. But when I was 10 years old and this game came out, get into the scenario editor and create the funnel, or you're up against the easy AI and you create the funnel and you beat the AI as they just throw waves and waves of units at you. But yeah, actually, it's going to build the wall and he's going to build the gate, because I think he might have the same idea of building another layer of walls, potentially. And castle in the middle, fortified wall comes out, by the way, so that's another obstacle that he has to get through. So do you think AdmiralZhao thinks, well, either he thinks the monastery's in the middle, or he thinks it's a wonder victory and hasn't realized yet? He should realize because, as we know, the monastery lights up in the base so that you know where to attack to prevent the relic victory. But I have a sneaking suspicion that he might think it's actually the wonder. I could be wrong there, but yeah, and we're just fighting in the wrong spots. As he fights, it denies this castle at 97%. So great responses. Yeah, exactly, Grau. You can see where the relics are, but maybe he's just not looking over here or something. I'm not sure. I have no idea. But we do have Trebs out. Trebs are out. We're down to 89 years. We just need like 1 million Custier at this point, I think. And that's exactly what we have. Elite Custier. Need to get these upgrades in for them, but actually we're going Siege Onager? No, Onager. Do they get Siege Onager? They don't. They just get Onager. Still would be amazing against Mangadai, of course. Broken wall here. Has gone around. There must have been a gap there which was noticed. 68 years. Castle goes down, so even though he got around the back, it didn't really matter. This is quite hilarious, I must say. I think there's absolutely no way that he gets in. Because you got to get through the castle, and you got to get through 57 Custier. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. You got to keep producing Trebso. And how on earth did he get the wall back down? This is almost in range of this monastery. Like, if you could, can you sneak around here, get right on this wall, attack the monastery from like the furthest range? Don't think so. We're gonna have to see if you can get through this wall again. Drill is coming out. Siege Engineers is coming out. So Siege Engineers, more range. Does it affect siege trebuchets? I always forget that little detail. Redemption coming out, so you can convert siege. I believe you have to be next to the trebuchets to do that. This game is seriously testing my niche Age of Empires knowledge. But that's a lot of Mangudai that's gone down. And look at the military difference. It is substantial. This Treb, let's see what this Treb is able to achieve. It takes one shot at the wall and then packs up. We see CuteBearCub is victorious. We don't see the GG. Probably just a mistake, and my focus was only diverted to this one area of the map that's most important, but I guess Zoe just figured there's no way I'm getting this relic. We did have 144 villages from Zoe. That is crazy. Perhaps might have needed to invest more in the military to kill the relics. But CuteBearCub, you played that to perfection, my man. Very well played. Very, very well played. So we're at 2-2 in this best of 5. That means whoever wins the next match is the winner. So, humans. Okay, this is a detail of the draft that I don't know. So it would seem as though even if your opponent picks one of the civs from the admin picks, it doesn't mean that you can't pick it. Because CuteBearCub is picking it here. Which is interesting to know. AdmiralZhao going for Japanese. Again, my mind struggles to see what and why this pick has been made, but it will become evident to me as the game goes along. But obviously, happy to get suggestions from chat about why Japanese would be good on this map. Yeah, they are both the admin picks. My thought was humans had been picked in game 1 by one of these by AdmiralZhao. So based on the rules, it therefore must mean it doesn't matter if the other player picks it in as an admin pick. You can still pick it yourself, which is good to know. Japanese are cheaper mills for the fish. I mean, yeah, it helps, obviously. But are we expecting a lot of mills? Don't know. Apart from the standard, you're always going to get some eco bonus from that as you produce your standard lumber camps and mills. So unless we're producing more than usual, I don't know. And maybe it's just a question of we're at the last map, and this is just AdmiralZhau's comfortable pick. It's a comfort pick, perhaps. That's probably what I would take it down to. But humans, so how do you play this as humans, though? So I always think of humans as the obvious strategy is you do the 2 TC boom in feudal, or you play them the exact opposite way and go for ultra aggression, because either you can do some kind of TC drop. Obviously there's 4 springs, but maybe you come over to this spring and kind of zone out your opponent from one of the springs. Or you can go for like Siege Workshop, you can have like Rams and Mangonels and Feudal. Or is it just Rams and Feudal actually? Again, my niche knowledge of Age of Empires needs a little bit of updating, but I think it might just be Rams. Could be wrong. Can you get Mangonels and Feudal as Cubans? Not sure, but I think you can't TC the springs, not enough space, yeah. So you wouldn't be able to put it, let's say, where this mill is. Although that does look like a big spot. You might be able to. In like one specific spot. Like this one looks like you wouldn't be able to. Maybe you can. Maybe there's like one, this one definitely not. So maybe there's some kind of, and this relic is in the way in this spot. So there could be scenarios. Yeah, you can't bank on it. That's right. You can't. You really can't. But yeah, maybe some kind of Siege Workshop play potentially. Probably see the standard, but I don't know why you pick Cumans on this map either, because a Cuman double TC play is good on Arena. I think you could get the second TC out on this wood and gold side and secure that. Might not be bad. But I'm going to put it down to comfort picks for both players. We're on 7 farms in Dark Age. So my mind, and again, I'm not a perfect Age of Empires player by any means, but I try to avoid farms in Dark Age at all costs. And AdmiralZhao has gone for farms in a lot of these games in Dark Age. I think CuteBearCub has the right idea to send a lot of villagers to the springs, especially early. Obviously, you see some over here, so it's not like Zhao is neglecting this by any means, and he's gonna also come to the other side. So I just don't know if these farms were necessary, especially because this farm is nearly complete. Don't know where the villager went. Obviously, it came over to the side, but yeah, I just love to see those decision makings. Okay, so we're in feudal. We're going for the TC in the middle. Secure that bunch of resources. I don't mind it. I think it's all right. I think it's all right. Boars, fish. You know, this is, in my opinion, one of the only maps where towers really come into play. Not seeing any kind of initiative to do towers, and I think that's understandable from the human player if you're going to go for the TC here. That's where your resources are going to, or your attention's going to be diverted, rather than doing something aggressive. Although I think there's potential in other maps to perhaps do that, like other strategies to do that. Japanese have Yasama, but that's much later in the game, of course, where these springs become less and less relevant. So I don't consider them a early tower civ. So yeah, don't think we're going to see towers. So Scout dies from Zhao. Blacksmith coming in. And actually, okay, so we're seeing Men-at-Arms. Seeing Men-at-Arms from Zhao. So he is going to go for something aggressive. We do see Scouts on the side for CuteBearCub, though. So there's going to be dead villagers quite a lot of dead villagers actually. All of these are going to go down. Didn't want to commit the militia there until they were men-at-arms, and that comes just in time for them to witness two dead ladies sinking into the ground. So AdmiralZhao wanted to be the aggressor in this situation. Unfortunately, it was the other way around. These do have armor in, and they're actually going to have forging in. So this will be a threat to this spring. And this is a lot of men-at-arms. This is a lot of men-at-arms. One horse left. Coming around the back. This is a huge investment though. Huge, huge investment. That I just don't know if it's going to pay off. CuteBearCub is having a bit of revenge for what we saw in Shoals, trying to pick off a few villages. Causing some idle time to come in here. And for these villagers to say, you know what? We don't need fish today. Let's go and get economy elsewhere. We actually see men-at-arms on this side as well. So we've got 5 men-at-arms and 3 more in the queue. So an immense amount of pressure happening. And we're going to see an archer transition. So this is quite an expensive response, I would say, because he had already invested in the stable. At least he didn't invest in any techs or anything. But had to invest more wood into the archery range. However, even with all this aggression, we do see 45 to 35 villager lead for CuteBearCub. And that's down to both the extra TC and the scout kills, the 4 villager kills. It's going to be 4 to 1. So I haven't seen quite the appropriate response. And actually, that tower goes down. Well, it's actually deleted. So I thought for a second that the men-at-arms took it out, but that wasn't the case. Deletes the tower and moves it back a little bit, and the archers are going to do exactly what they're supposed to do, but this is a new thing of this patch. So these men-at-arms are not going to be chased down by archers. They're going to be able to run away and fight another day. But yeah, love that tower. Well, do I love it? Don't absolutely love the positioning, but it does the trick. Yeah, still attacking the stable. You want to get more value out of this than just taking down buildings, of course. And we just got... Yeah, I think these men-at-arms are just floundering a bit. And, you know, I don't think you need any more archers, and we're not seeing any more produced, which I love, because this is all you need. I would like to see CuteBearCub try to get up to castle now. It's going to try and find picks of its own. It needs to micro this though. Yeah, too early for wheelbarrow there, that's right. It wasn't housed in any kind of way either, so it wasn't a response to being housed. Does go up to castle now though. So he's got, you know, you've got to prioritize wheelbarrow before castle age. Yeah, I agree. Probably not. So we've got 3 archers. They're going to spot out the archery ranges for Zoe. Maybe this could be a skirmisher switch, and both of these archery ranges are going to be at 90%. Padded archer armor is going to come through. So we're thinking either archers or skirmishers. Skirmishers is the play if one comes through there. Again, these units not being used to full effect, in my opinion. They have done their job of getting CuteBearCub off the springs. Do see a bit of gamesmanship there for Zoe with the back and forth as the skirmisher was killing the archers. So again, Zoe just having a lot of fun, which I respect immensely. Yeah, I was a little bit concerned about this possibility, that this tower is pretty exposed. As we're seeing more and more dodging with the crooked way to get to the tower. Archers are coming back. But this tower's going to go down. Well, a tower's going to go down and another one's going to go up. But this should be handled well and truly. We have no ability, a lot of missed shots, and that's so frustrating. And that's because they're that much faster. They're into long swords now, though. Don't run away from this. You want to kill these long swords as much as possible, especially because they've just been upgraded. They now have gambizons as well. Cav archers, in addition. Japanese cav archers are great. So I like that from AdmiralZhao, but man, he's so far behind the villagers. As long as CuteBearCub doesn't like unravel here, which could be a possibility, as long as he kind of buffers away this attack, you know. Apologies, my apologies. Yeah, as long as CuteBearCub just kind of pushes this away, his economy is so much better. So I'm loving to see the patience here of accumulating the step lances, siege workshop going up. Gonna need to move this villager, of course. Archers also on the move, so knowing that the archers have pretty much no value anymore, has decided to take them away and find a use for them. Obviously hate to see step lancers thrown away, but obviously wasn't aware of that. Archers can sit on that wood line. Ambitious castle. We've got the no from Zoe. Lots of villagers going to go down here. That's a risk that perhaps didn't need to be taken. But actually got a little bit of a surround there as well. Only killed 3 villagers, which is surprising. I thought he would kill a lot more. So even though Zoe said no, actually yes. Castle does go up. And CuteBearCub wants to finish this quick. He's going to chase this mass right back to the base. And a lot of those cav archers are on pretty low hit points. should be spending res on skirms. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I thought he was going to do something with the siege workshop, like scorpions, which would have also been an option. But yeah, skirmishes would have also obviously done the trick. I think Zoe figuring out that he needs to catch up in villages is building more TCs. CuteBearCub back on shoreline. But the step lance and mass is getting pretty high. Pretty high indeed. And, well, actually the idle TC time for CuteBearCub is through the roof. It's nearly at 20 minutes on 2 TCs. So he's been running these idle to kind of address that pressure. But we'll obviously need to see him pay attention to getting that back up again. But yeah, TC on one of the shrines. So you can evidently get some TCs. There are perhaps one-ish TC spot on each one of these shrines, but that's going to be great for his food income. That's going to be amazing. Getting Bodkin in. Ballistics. So Ballistics is coming in for AdmiralZhao, and that's great for the Cav Archer, but he doesn't have the Cav Archer math just yet. I mean, he could be up to 20, evidently, pretty soon. Siege Workshop coming up again. This one not used, really, but obviously better to have a Siege Workshop forward as CuteBearCub wisely pulls back there. Gonna have to keep pulling back though. Let's see what he does with the Siege Workshop. He's gonna go for Mangonels. I love it. Absolutely love it. Seems to understand that he needs to stop the mobility of these Cav Archers just as they come around this side as well. These villages should be somewhat protected. There's no run-through potential. Can obviously snipe some villages over the houses. Mangonel's coming through. But now he knows... Oh, and there's a hole. Oh, he doesn't run through. Surely you got to run through there. There's so much exposed economy. You could get all 13 of these. And please plug that gap, because this could be a disaster. Oh, here we go. He notices. Very good awareness there. Sorry, I did miss some stuff over here, but that did seem like quite an important detail. But yeah, all of this has been left exposed by Zoe as he's shifted his Cav Archers away. And that is now blocked. That's actually game changing. That could have cost him the game, I think. I mean, he was behind, and he is behind. But that was his one chance to get back in the game, in my opinion. That could have been devastating for CuteBearCub. Here he comes, back with some Cav Archers, but a lot of them still over here. These Mangonels, you know, push a couple more of these buildings and then you're on to the TCs. And actually, no, we're going to go for castle. Which I think is a good strategy. It's only 3 villages though. And the military count for Zoe is actually quite high. These mangonels obviously might be a deterrent enough to kind of challenge us, but could you swoop in here, take out the villagers, delay this? I think you probably could. And what are these villagers up to? Where on earth are these villagers going? This is a risk as well, that this castle's going to go up so slowly that you could... He could have planted the castle right there, you know, and then also swooped in at the same time, but no, fair enough, fair enough. I feel like that could have been stopped, potentially. Siege workshop, okay, all right. And Imperial on the way. So CuteBearCub is in firm control of this game. I'm very much expecting to win it, especially because he has 106 villages. So his economy is flying. His economy is protected. Unless there's some kind of crazy loop around to the economy play that can happen. Don't think so though, because AdmiralZhao has to deal with this. And I just don't know how he does address this. Trebs will be out in around about 2 minutes. Defensive castle, offensive castle. Mangonels against Cav Archer. We have Step Lancers coming round the back. That is a very ambitious tower. Not going to happen. Definitely not going to happen. Castle being built, no. Decides against it. Very wise. It's going to make these Cav Archers chase. Don't know about this castle still. It can still easily be denied, but the chase is on for those Step Lancers. And, you know, a choice has to be made. Do you come through here? Do you go here? No, you can test it with towers. I don't think that's going to work. It's too late. Too late. And it's all slipping away here from Zhao. As his Cav Archers almost seeming as if they're expecting defeat of trying to run off the edge of the map. Villagers attacking castles right now as a sign of desperation. And that castle is going down very slowly as 21 villagers attack it. Trebuchets are out. They're not firing yet, but they fire soon. Towers are going to help take those villagers down. More TCs built. This wide arcing loop that I was expecting is coming through now. That tower's going to start taking out villages. Even if these Cav Archers kill half of CuteBearCub's economy, he would still be in the lead. We've actually got farms next to the shrine. This is a GG if I have ever seen one, but AdmiralZhao, as he rightly should, is going to try and do absolutely everything to keep on top of this and give himself a chance. This has been unresponded to, and he might not even know that this is happening. But there's not much left. As he GG's out of the game. So, CuteBearCub takes the win. Very good set by him. Very close set between these two, though. 3-2. So that means CuteBearCub is going on to the semis. AdmiralZhao, unfortunately, will not progress, but I think that was one hell of a showing by him. That was a really interesting set. Really close set. And I'm glad I decided to cast it. That was really entertaining.